this is my PowerPoint for creative and critical reflection. So, for introduction, it's just a poster and it just gives some basic information about the film. So, in the poster, you can see that it's like a hallway and that like it's red in the hallway, and you can also see red words, which technically gives off a scary vibe. And the people in my group for the film is Gabriella Cunty, who played Lisa, Shanti Germain, who played Momo, Cassandra Lubin, who played the teacher, and me, who played Jane. Our film is called Echo in the Dark. Our film is based on The Babadook and Donnie Darko. The genre of our film is comedy and horror. And our next slide is just the technology that we use, which is the iPhone 13 to record our film. And even though it wasn't fancy, it still did an excellent job. And our other slide is an example of a convention. And this is a tracking shot. And basically, a tracking shot is just to follow the character so you can see where they're going, where they are, and what they're doing. And in this example, you could see Shanti, who played Momo, and Gabriella, who played Lisa. And the cameraman or woman is running with them. So, like following them, which is what a tracking shot is. The other side is also an example of a convention. And this one is a mid shot, which shows Shanti, who played Momo. It shows her body, like her body from waist up. And this is technically just to show the characters' upper body actions, like what they're doing, and like their surroundings kind of in the background a little bit. And this one is blurred out, so you can't really see like what's going on. So you're really focusing on their face and their actions. So this slide is the last example of a convention. And in this slide, you could see an example of a wide shot, which is meant to show the character and their surrounding. So in this, you could see Shanti sitting down, who played Momo, and Gabriella in the background, who played Lisa. And as you could tell, you could see them in a classroom, and you could get a clear view of both them and the classroom. Okay, in this slide, this is where the questions start. And the first question is, how does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? And my answer to this was, my film uses conventions by talking about how my opening scene is going to look, while also talking about the genre of my film. And this represents social issues by showing how bullying can cause someone to hurt or kill themselves. Basically, what that means is that in this day of life, a lot of teens are struggling with depression or bullying, and because they're being bullied, they have this idea that instead of talking to someone, they should just kill themselves, or maybe they have talked to someone, but that person chooses to not take them seriously. And because that person doesn't take them seriously, this will make them think that, oh, no one else cares, so I should just continue what I'm doing, like cutting myself and maybe in my life. In this slide, it's also a question, and this one says, how does your product engage with the audience, and how would it be distributed as a related text? So my answer to this was, my film engaged with the audience by kind of talking about a serious problem, and that problem is suicide, which a lot of teens struggle with. And as I said before, sometimes they don't feel the need to talk about it to people, or if they do, they might get ignored, or people might bully them, which will cause them to continue to cut themselves and harm themselves, which could eventually lead to suicide. And how I would distribute my film as like in real life, I would use social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And on to the third question. This slide says, how did your production skills develop throughout this project? And my response was, my skill got better when it came to working with cameras by knowing what angles and shots to use, because if that doesn't look good, then people are going to say that they don't enjoy it. And I also know that quality and editing matters because the editing is what really cleans everything up and brings it together. And I also learned that if you don't enjoy it with your partners, then it's not going to be fun. And if it's not fun, then your whole film won't be good, in my opinion. And for our last slide, which is also our last question, it says, how did you interrogate technologies, software, hardware, and online in this project? Honestly, I was pretty confused in this question, but we did use an iPhone, and we did edit it on CapCut. And yes, this is it for my presentation, PowerPoint, and I would just like to apologize if there was any stuttering or mistakes when I was talking. I kind of have a speech problem, and I apologize if it was hard to understand me.